Hey, what'd you think of this presentation of The Undertaker?
Loved it.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah, I did. It was just different. I had known Mark Callis before he was, when he was Mean Mark Callis, and I remember all of us thinking that, boy, this guy is going to be a star. We ain't going to make him a star because we're in the Jim Hurt era, but he is going to be a star, and they made him a star. And I thought that is so fucking cool. And this is what, to me, I know you like the motorcycle guy, right? The badass
Yeah, American Badass.
American badass. But to me, this is what made him a star, right? All this cult with the druids, and to me, this is what you think of when you think of the Undertaker. Am I wrong?
I don't think of this version. I think of like that early look when he debuted and he had like the gray and then the purple gloves or vice versa. I'm colorblind,
Mm,
but that
maybe so.
that
Maybe,
traditional look, not this robed cloak and dagger bullshit. Not for me.
okay. Well, Mr. McMahon has arrived. He and his son are having it out.
What do you think? You think we'll ever see Vince McMahon do anything in wrestling again?
No, if he was in his 50s, maybe. And I don't. I know you think we will,
Yeah.
and of course, ego can drive people. But if I'm the age of Vince McMahon, and I'm not that far off, if I'm the age of Vince McMahon, what is he right now? 75, 76?
He's up
Okay.
there.
Okay. And I'm a multi-billionaire. What the fuck do I want to do shit again for? Enjoy the remaining years in your life. I guess if you got an ego that says you got to work or that you've got to be involved, I guess the remaining years of your life, enjoying the remaining years is working. But not for me, dude.
Oh no, I totally agree. He's going to be 79 in August.
Yeah. Here's the deal. See Bug over here? If I have his money, I have a whole farm of bugs, and I'm going to I'm going to rescue dogs. And there's a guy in Maryland. Of I don't I see him on Instagram a lot. It's called Big Man Little World or something like that, and it's a former bodybuilder who just rescues Chihuahua, and he has like 100 Chihuahuas living in his house. I'm thinking, isn't that the greatest thing in the world? That's what I would do. With my money, I wouldn't do. But do you really think he's going to? You have some inside information that you know, or you just read more than I do. You obviously do follow social media more than I do.
No, I don't
Um,
have any inside information. I'm just
okay,
thinking, you
yeah,
know, well, I just want to remind everybody when people are like, "Oh, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard." Who else do you know who would launch the XFL twice?
yeah,
Like after you lost all that cash the first time, you still
hmm
got enough moxie, but maybe not enough sense to say, maybe not. He
yeah,
did it a second time. So I just
yeah.
can't imagine that the last word on him or his legacy or I don't see him going quietly. I think he's going to fight it, and I think if we've heard correctly that he's hired this big high powered PR firm. I mean, I've even been told that they charge something crazy like $11,000 an hour. If that's true, that's not the actions of somebody who doesn't want to be a public person,
There you go.
but we'll see.
Good call. Uh, but what a life, huh? What a career. What no one I don't think anyone saw it uh taking this turn.
No.
But there you go.
Hey, we got a question from our live studio audience. By the way, I should mention that you can be a part of this live studio audience. You can join us at adfreeshows.com or, of course, patreon.com/WHW Monday. Aaron Sheen, who's with us live, says, "Hey, Tony, was Jack Perry getting set on fire the craziest thing you've seen in all your years in the business? You've seen some crazy stuff, but that's kind of hard to beat. I mean, I know
Yeah.
there was almost a tease a couple of years ago when down came Eddie Kingston with a gas can, and it looks like, oh my God, what's he going to do with that? And then I'll be damned if Darby didn't actually set a motherfucker on fire. That's
Right.
not a sentence you think you'd hear in wrestling. but it happened.
Yeah, that's going to be one of them. I don't know if it's the craziest thing uh, that I've ever seen. We've seen a lot of crazy things. I think Edge, and I can call him Edge here, but I think Adam Copeland going to the top of the cage
Oh my
and doing,
gosh.
doing an elbow drop at his uh, time in his career. He's not a kid anymore. Is one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Darby being hung upside down was crazy, and the music and the fans singing the final countdown as the battle goes on. All together, it's going to be probably the craziest match I've ever seen. I think that one match go down as the craziest match I've ever seen. And what what I thought about when it was all over and I'm leaving, I'm uh, a lot of us had red eye flights out that night. As I'm going to the airport, I'm thinking, I know this is not the last Anarchy in the Arena match that we will see, but what the fuck are they going to try to do to top this?
Thought the
Right?
same thing. I don't think it
Yeah.
can be topped, right?
I don't think it can be, but I think those idiots are going to try. And I say idiots because I always tell them, guys, oh, geez, come on. Somebody will really get hurt one day. Um, hopefully not, but I say it just try to calm them down a little bit. But yeah, we're going to have another Anarchy in the Arena match, and they're going to say, "Hey, remember we set Jack Perry on fire? Yeah. What can we do to top that?" Anyway, yeah, they
Hey,
said,
I know we don't talk about this sort of thing, and I'm not looking for scoops, but I am just genuinely concerned. Do you think the real life Adam Copeland's okay after that big cage bump? Because everybody in my house was like, "Hey, man, that I don't know if you recall, but you were in WCW when Randy Savage came off the top at a Halloween Havoc in Las
mhm,
Vegas,
"Yeah,
and it was reminiscent of that to me because it's like, man, that's a long way to fall. But if I recall correctly, Randy was hurt pretty good from that because your
yeah."
body's just not supposed to fall like that. Do you think Mr. Copeland's going to be all right?
Well, I have not reached out to him, and it doesn't matter. I need to reach out to him. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do right now. Um, Send him a text as we're talking. But I haven't reached out to him. I normally I do. Normally I go in the backstage area and try to check in on the medical and see how guys are. But again, we were trying to get to a flight. But I don't know. I don't know if he is. Have you heard anything that I haven't heard?
No, I haven't. I just wanted to check on him. And unfortunately,
Okay.
we did hear some news about our great friend Eddie Kingston. Looks like he injured himself pretty severely in that New Japan match. He's going
Yeah.
to be on the shelf, going to have surgery. We're probably looking close to a year on a return. And
Yeah.
I know that Eddie is publicly saying, "Oh, it's wrestling; it's part of it." But as a fan of his, I'm really going to miss him. I hope that we can find some way to keep him, involved somehow. He's just entertaining. I mean, that dude reading the phone book would crack me up.
I called Eddie the other day and we had a nice long conversation. I tell Eddie this all the time. I said, "You're my favorite wrestler of all time." And he goes, "Come on." I said, "No, you are, because you're just real.
Yes,
Just absolutely real. And there's nothing phony about you. It's like the Eddie Kingston that we see on TV is the real Eddie Kingston." Uh, and I'm not saying he's the greatest wrestler of all time because he's not, but he's my favorite. And I always enjoy doing an Eddie Kingston match. I always enjoy when Eddie's backstage. I always enjoy just talking to Eddie on the phone, and he's just the best. And yeah, he's going to be out for a while, and so our best wishes to him. But he'll come back, and he'll be a viable part of what we do. And I'm when we go back and when this is all said and done, as they say, and who knows when that will be, it'll probably be years and decades from now. I think one of the great things that AEW did was uh, let the world discover Eddie Kingston on a national level. because I hadn't heard of Eddie Kingston. He was just floundering in the independents, broke, loving wrestling. I mean, really a student of the game of wrestling, as we know, especially, Japanese wrestling. I think one of the great things we did was put Eddie Kingston on a national level for people to see.